the President of the Republic of the Philippines and the Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Mga kasama, malugod na pinapaabot ng ating manawing bandangal na si His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines, ang kanyang taus-pusong pasasalamat sa parangal na ginawa natin sa kanya sa umagang ito.
Once again, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and the Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and the Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
For the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, to be followed by the invocation to be led by the Chief Air Chaplain, Colonel Dennis L. Bolanday, Chaplain Service General Staff Corps.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, hanap ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay.
Panghihinang, duyan ka ng magiting. Sa manlulupi, di ka pasisingil.
Sa dagat ang tulong, sa simoy at sa langit mong lugaw. May dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal.
Ang iskap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning.
Ang bituin at araw na kailan pa may limang gigingin.
Let us pray. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. Almighty God, we thank you for the 79 years of faithful service of the Philippine Air Force. We are grateful for the courage, dedication, and sacrifices of all the men and women and civilian human resources who have served our nation with honor. Bless and guide us always, especially the President, our Commander-in-Chief. Grant us wisdom in our decisions, strength in our duties, and unity in our mission. Keep us steadfast in serving God, country, and people with integrity and excellence. May your protection remain upon us as we continue to soar the greater heights in service of the Filipino nation. We ask this to the one God that we believe, hope, and love. Amen.
Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today, we welcome you to the commemoration of the 79th founding anniversary of the Philippine Air Force with the theme, Focus PAF at 79, Forging a Credible, Agile, and Multi-Domain Air Force through mission readiness, capability development, and values-based service. We are very much honored to have with us this morning the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
May we request everyone to please focus your attention on screen for the Philippine Air Force Accomplishments audiovisual presentation.
through capability. The sustained investments of our national leadership to the Philippine Air Force has achieved critical milestones in its modernization program.
We dedicate our lives to using air power as a tool for nation building.
Through the intensive multi-capability development today, and in the coming years, with the arrival of new platforms and systems, the Philippine Air Force has integrated top-notch air assets, modernized infrastructures in strategic areas across the country, and competent human resources.
These advancements enhanced and will further strengthen our capabilities in battlefield air interdiction, close air support, heavy strategic airlift, maritime domain awareness, and other support systems. This is a modernized PAF, equipped, sustainable, and highly capable of securing our territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Sa oras ng sakuna, hindi kami nagdadalawang isip. We don't just deliver aid, we deliver hope.
Over the past year, the PAF remained at the forefront of national disaster response, executing vital airlift operations, complemented by ground support during devastating earthquakes, and deploying airborne fire suppression capabilities during critical fire incidents. We don't just secure the perimeter, we secure the survival of our people.
Stand with the Air Force. We soar high alongside your dreams for our nation.
As regional security dynamics shift, the PAF actively engages in joint, combined, bilateral, and multilateral partnerships. By operating shoulder to shoulder with partner nations, we have enhanced our interoperability, shared critical doctrines,
Ang pagkakaisa at pagtutulungan ng mga bansa.
Magkakaiba man ang pinagmulan at watawat,
Iisa lang ang ating layunin, isang mapayapa at maunlad na kinabukasan.
Beyond our advanced machines, our greatest asset is our human resource. The command continues to recruit top-tier talent and provide advanced, continuous training to enhance our professional competencies.
every flight, and every mission is anchored in our core values of integrity, service above self, teamwork, excellence, and professionalism. We place faith in the Almighty Father at the center of all our endeavors.
Ang Diyos ang aming sandigan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
In God, sa bawat Pilipino at para sa poong may kapal.
79. Hindi lang bilang, hindi lang selebrasyon, kundi tatak.
Tatak ng bawat piloto na lumilipad ng may tapang at kahusayan.
Tatak ng bawat kawal na kumikilos ng may kahandaan at disiplina.
Tatak ng bawat sibilyang kawani na katuwang sa kapayapaan at seguridad.
At tatak ng pagmamahal sa bawat Pilipino ninong aming sinumpaang paglingkuran at pangalagaan.
Congratulations to the men and women of the Philippine Air Force.
May we now request the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force, Lieutenant General Arthur M. Cordura, to deliver his welcome remarks and anniversary message.
Let me first greet His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., the President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Secretary Gilbert Teodoro Jr., the Department of National Defense. Secretary Eduardo Oban Jr., of National Security, our National Security Advisor. General Romeo Browner Jr., the Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, and his lady, Madam Melody. Former Chief of Staff and former Commanding Generals of the Philippine Air Force and their ladies, guests from the Malacanang Palace, guests from the Department of National Defense, Commandant Philippine Coast Guard, Major Service Commanders, and Unified Commanders, guests from the General Headquarters, Armed Forces of the Philippines, members of the Foreign Armed Forces Attaché Corps, general and senior officers from the active, retired, and reserve military service, our awardees and other distinguished guests, members of the Philippine Air Force officers and enlisted personnel Ladies Central Club, men and women of the Philippine Air Force, my wife, Christine. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Agile, credible, responsive, and multi-domain. A beacon of hope supporting our bagong Pilipinas. These were among the salient points our Commander-in-Chief emphasized upon my assumption as Commanding General. Guided by this vision, the Philippine Air Force pursued its mission under the Focused Philippine Air Force framework. Despite the constraints inherent in a modernizing Air Force, through the steadfast support of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the Department of National Defense, and our Commander-in-Chief, we have continued to perform our mission, develop our capabilities, and strengthen our foundation as a values-based organization. Along the way, we achieved both major and modest victories, but we also encountered numerous challenges. Challenges that tested our resolve as an institution. Yet, rather than allow these difficulties to define us, we choose to learn from them and move forward together. We cannot afford to be stymied by adversity, for the centrality of air power in safeguarding national security, contributing to nation building, and meeting the expectations of the Filipino people has never been more significant. The Philippine Air Force has likewise worked doubly hard to remain relevant in an increasingly complex security environment. As modern warfare evolves and new dimensions of air power emerge, there is a need for greater adaptability, interoperability, integration, and optimal use of capabilities of a small Air Force. It is in this context that we celebrate our 79th founding anniversary under the theme Focused Philippine Air Force at 79, forging a credible, agile, and multi-domain Air Force through mission readiness, capability development, and values-based service. This team captures not only our accomplishment over the past year, but also the direction we continue to pursue. It reflects our commitment to being an effective force provider to the unified commands and the joint force, advancing the objectives of the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept, and strengthening cooperation with allies and partners across all domains. Through joint air patrol operations, air intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions, close air support, battlefield air interdiction, HADR, and other operational activities, the Philippine Air Force demonstrated what it can do with what it has, delivering operational effects that strengthened national defense, supported joint force objectives, and protected the interests of the Filipino people. Beyond current operations, we continued to build the foundation of air power, the planned acquisition of long-range patrol aircraft, the projected delivery of additional Black Hawk, Bell 412 EPX helicopters, advanced surveillance radar systems, and acquisition of flight simulators are steadily enhancing our ability to monitor, respond, and operate across greater distances and more demanding operational environments. Complementing this effort is the eventual completion of strategic basing in Pag-asa Island and Santa Ana, Cagayan, which will improve operational endurance, expand our strategic reach, and reinforce our ability to contribute meaningfully to the nation's defense posture. However, the true measure of our strength lies in the men and women who transform resources into mission success. As we modernize our platforms and systems, our human resource remain equally committed to cultivating professional excellence, leadership, resilience throughout the organization. Through programs that strengthen physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being, alongside initiatives that promote mentorship, teamwork, and accountability. We continue to nurture a force that is disciplined in character, imbued with the warrior ethos, and firmly guided by our core values. None of these achievements would have been possible without the trust and sustained support of our national leadership, our partners in government, the public and private sector, our allies and stakeholders, every home that inspires and motivates us, every airman, airwoman, reservist, and civilian human resource of the Philippine Air Force. To all of you, we offer our sincerest gratitude. Looking forward, we aim to become a more effective force provider to the joint force and relevant in combined operations. We will sustain our focus on operational preparedness, accelerate force modernization, further strengthen cooperation with allies and partners, explore novel technologies in defense, strengthen air and maritime domain awareness, enhance deterrence and area denial, invest in strategic basing and infrastructure, and develop the professional growth and well-being of our human resource. In doing so, we will build a more integrated, resilient, and multi-domain Air Force capable of fulfilling our roles under the AFP's comprehensive archipelagic defense concept and meeting the evolving requirements of the nation's defense and security environment. So as we celebrate our 79th founding anniversary, your mission-oriented, capability-driven, and values-based Philippine Air Force remains focused in its commitment to serving the nation as a source of assurance and inspiration, a dependable guardian of our sovereignty and territorial integrity, and a steadfast partner in advancing national security and development for a stronger, safer, and more secured bagong Pilipinas. Maraming salamat at mabuhay ang hukbong himpapawid ng Pilipinas, mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you, sir.
We shall now proceed to the presentation of awards. These awards are being presented to the Philippine Air Force units, officers, enlisted personnel, and civilian human resources for their meritorious and exceptional services rendered to the country and the Filipino people.
May we request our guest of honor and speaker, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and the Commander-in-Chief Armed Forces of the Philippines, to confer the awards. May we also invite the Secretary of National Defense and the Commanding General to assist the President.
The recipient of the Streamer Award for Command Combat Support category is Air Defense Command. To receive the award is the Commander, Major General Ronnie D. Pitinglay, Philippine Air Force. Thank you, sir.
The recipient of Streamer Award for Command Service Support category is Air Education and Training Command. To receive the award is the Commander, Major General Jesus Nelson B. Morales, Philippine Air Force. Thank you, sir.
The recipient of the Streamer Award for Wing Combat Tactical Operations Wing category is Tactical Operations Wing Southern Luzon. To receive the award is the Wing Commander, Brigadier General Juliano C. Llarenas, Philippine Air Force.
Honorable Gilberto C. Chodoro Jr., Secretary of National Defense, will introduce our guest of honor and speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Thank you to our National Defense Secretary, Secretary Gilbert Chodoro. Please take your seats. National Security Advisor Ed Oban Jr., the Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. and the other major service commanders, Philippine Air Force Commanding General Lieutenant General Arthur Cardura, Philippine Coast Guard Commandant Admiral Gil Gavan, Pasay City Mayor Imelda Calixto Rubiano, our foreign armed forces attaches here present, officers and personnel of the Philippine Air Force, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Almost 8 decades ago, the Philippine Air Force was born to serve our country and the Filipino people. Today, we commemorate and honor your beginnings and look toward a capability-enhanced future for our Air Force. This year's theme, Forging a Credible, Agile, and Multi-Domain Air Force through Mission Readiness, Capability Development, and Value-Based Service, reflects your commitment to building a stronger force. Since becoming a separate major service of the Armed Forces of the Philippines in 1947, the Philippine Air Force has grown from a modest post-war force into a mission-oriented, capability-driven, and values-based institution. Indeed, its development reflects the dedication of generations of airmen and airwomen who have remained adaptable while staying true to their mission. Whether providing humanitarian assistance after devastating typhoons or safeguarding our territorial integrity, the Air Force has shown time and again that it is an indispensable partner in nation building. This past year alone, the Air Force logged nearly 50,000 flying hours across internal and external defense missions, military pilot training, unit training, and maintenance. You transported millions of pounds of cargo, tens of thousands of passengers in response and in support of disaster response, troop deployments, and inter-island operations. Through bilateral and multilateral defense engagements, the Air Force has deepened its cooperation with allies, enhanced interoperability, and promoted regional stability. At the same time, you have reinforced our territorial defense through sustained patrols and air surveillance operations, strengthening our maritime domain awareness and sovereignty protection. During times of calamity, you have shown up to rescue stranded individuals and to support affected communities when they needed the government most. For all these and more, our entire nation could not be more grateful. It is only fitting, therefore, that your government stands steadfast in supporting the Air Force as it fulfills its mandate. This is particularly important as modern challenges grow increasingly complex, requiring sustained investments in your capabilities so that you can perform your duties more safely and more effectively. Under the PAF Modernization Program, we have strengthened your operational capabilities through the acquisition of helicopters, aircraft, and surveillance radar. Equally important is our sustained investment in the people who make these capabilities meaningful. We continue to invest in your development through specialized intelligence training, advanced flight simulation programs, and participation in exercises with other major services and international counterparts. We shall also support programs that protect the mental health and overall well-being of every airman and airwoman. In line with this, I also reiterate my directive to the Philippine Air Force to ensure the airworthiness of all its aircraft and to uphold rigorously safety protocols in mission and training activities. Our aircraft carry the women and men who serve our nation. Their safety must always remain paramount. Be assured that the administration is committed to providing the Philippine Air Force with the resources, the opportunities, and the support necessary to carry out your mission with honor and with excellence. As your Commander-in-Chief, I encourage you to continue upholding the highest standards of professionalism, discipline, and integrity. Above all, remain faithful to your constitutional duty to protect our people and defend the democratic institutions that safeguard our freedoms. Today, we also recognize those whose exemplary performance has brought honor to this institution. To this year's awardees, congratulations. Your achievements remind us that excellence is never achieved by chance. It is earned through consistent dedication to one's responsibilities. May your example inspire others to serve with the same sense of purpose. Let me also acknowledge the families of our military personnel. Know that your unconditional love, patience, and understanding has helped build the Philippine Air Force that our nation proudly celebrates today. As we mark this anniversary, let us remember that the strength of the Philippine Air Force rests on the character of the men and women who wear its uniform, the values that guide their service, and the trust that Filipinos have in them. Together, let us stay the course and build a bagong Pilipinas that is secure, resilient, and prepared for the challenges of tomorrow. Muli, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ang hukbong himpapawid ng Pilipinas.
Thank you, sir, for that very inspiring message.
May we request His Excellency the President to remain on stage for the presentation of memento by the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force.
Request the President to unveil the memento, sir, at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
The memento is Wings of Legacy. The aircraft depicted represents significant milestones in the history and development of Philippine military aviation. The P-51 Mustang, F-86 Sabre, F-5A Freedom Fighter, and F-A-50PH Fighting Eagle collectively illustrate the evolution of the Philippine Air Force from its post-war foundations to the modern era of air power.
Thank you, sirs. May I request everyone to please stand for the singing of the Philippine Air Force hymn.
At this point, may we request our guest of honor and speaker, His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and other principals to kindly grant us a group photo in front. And that concludes our program for today.
On behalf of the Commanding General Philippine Air Force, Lieutenant General Arthur M. Cordura, we thank you for being part of this milestone in the history of the Philippine Air Force.
Thank you, Mr. President, for gracing us with your presence.
Muli, magandang tanghali po at mabuhay tayong lahat. Happy 79th Founding Anniversary!